She ain't so reggae.
Greetings, Internet. Today we are going to do the final little bit of our song, She Ain't So Reggae by the band God-Fearing Women. I accidentally deleted an earlier take of this, so I am redoing it. Trying a new format, a little less long, hopefully a little more helpful to y'all. So let's just start with the vocal, and I'll show you what we'll be up to. So main vocal, backup vocal, which is just sort of a vocal with effects that pops on every now and then gang vocals. That's all the vocals that are in the song, and let me hit play.
She ain't so reggae. She ain't so reggae.
All right, so the vocals consist of this main vocal, and we'll have the effects on there as well.
She ain't so reggae.
And then these background vocals, which are just gang vocals.
She ain't so reggae.
Which was just 3 or 4 guys in a room. We did it a few times. And then view vocal, which is right here.
Listen to the music. Do it, let me do it.
So that's all that is. Let's start off with the main vocal. So first thing you want to do with the vocal is comp it. Typically, you'll do multiple takes of the song. As you see here, this color coding, if I pop this open to playlists, you have different playlists going on. And you'll see that Vox 4 and then different little cuts and snips interplay in between. So what you do, y'all probably know this, but after you're done recording a vocal, or as you're recording your vocal, you keep your main, what your favorite take was, on top. And Pro Tools at the very least, I think most DAWs you can do this. You can pop down and drag certain phrases up into the song, and cut, so on and so forth, and take the best bits of your song while you work on it. All right, I'm going to now go back here. And so that's the first thing you want to do, comp your song, make sure it's sounding best it can. Cut out dead spaces here and there. Probably should have done it more, but whatever. Here we go.
She ain't so reggae.
So that's what we ended up with. So this was recorded on a U87 in a little 6-foot by 6-foot vocal booth. I discovered probably after a few months there that I didn't like the vocal booth all that much. It's a little conical sounding, so some of the EQ was trying to fix that. So let me hit play again.
She ain't so reggae.
All right, that's without EQ. So first thing I did, turn on the waves tune, pitch correction, and then EQ. So that's do without.
She ain't so reggae.
All right, so you'll see it's a little muddy. Let's turn all these off. So first thing I did,
She ain't so reggae.
did a high pass, leave room
She
for
ain't
bass.
so reggae.
You see that pretty much did nothing to the sound. You can even see on the RTA there's not much there. There's just clearing some room for the
She
bass.
ain't so reggae.
And then after that, I used the bands 3 and 4 to sort of cut out some
She
mids.
ain't so reggae. She
And then
ain't,
band 2 to add some of that fundamental back in.
she ain't so reggae.
And then that 6 is a dip for some harshness.
She ain't so reggae.
Now with this particular song, I also used an F6 near the end to do a little bit more cut and boost as well.
She ain't so reggae.
And that's to tame some dynamics that sort of popped up in the way he was singing, also just to help with that room sound. A little redundant, but I like using these dynamic EQs just sort of as they're needed.
She ain't so reggae.
So you see at most they're taking like 3 dB off, which is probably too much, but it sounds good. So anyway, after my EQ, I then run my deesser.
She ain't so reggae.
You only really hear that on the S on the she.
She ain't so.
Just get down to the tss a little bit. Our deesser works well. It's old. There's better ones out there. I need to buy better ones, but it's what I have. And then I did an R compressor.
She ain't so reggae.
2-to-1 ratio. Fairly mid attack. Mid slow release. To sort of do some taming.
She ain't so reggae.
Again, we'll do that without.
She ain't so reggae.
we'll go to the actual song.
She ain't so reggae. She ain't so reggae. She likes the way I play.
So that's just to control, level it out a little bit. FET, yield 1176. This is just to add some aggressiveness to it, just to bring it, make it sit on top, on front of the mix. I really, really like the 1176. I use this a lot.
She ain't so reggae. She likes the way I play.
So all buttons in, British mode. No real drive on this one. The Softube, you can do some drive. You can do a lot on it. Fast release, mid slow attack, just enough to grip it a little bit.
She ain't so reggae.
Later in the song, when it gets louder, it will hit to about -5 on that gain reduction. I don't like doing much more than that. We'll do a little hotter part of the song.
She ain't so reggae.
So about 4 there. I don't like overdoing it, especially with as much processing as we're doing. And F6.
She ain't so reggae.
The F6 and just these dynamic EQs are really, really helpful when you don't have the best recordings in the world, because you can really just cut trouble spots out and have them time dependent rather than just going all the time as you would a normal EQ. So typically what I like to do on any EQ versus dynamic EQ, I try to get it about 90% of the way.
She ain't so reggae.
On the EQ, and then just do a little bit of polishing on a dynamic EQ. This is what I've got here. And then vocal rider to top that all off.
She ain't so reggae.
So there is an old trick. I do not have flying faders. I should get a control surface. Used to have one, got rid of it. Anyway, pop over volume. You used to automate vocals and things like that, just here and there, float them along, up and down with your faders, sort of make them sit on top of the mix. This vocal rider does that for me. Saves me, 20 minutes a song. Really saves mix time. Lets it sit nice and on top. That, add some reverb, which in this case I'm using an IRL with a little plate.
She ain't so reggae.
And Softube TapeEchoes for delay.
She ain't so reggae.
All right, let me make sure I'm still recording. Perfect. Okay. Next up, we're going to go over to our background vocal, which is just this little effect here.
Listen to the music. Do it, let me do it.
All right, so we'll turn the reverb off. Waves harmony is what's doing all the craziness. We'll go over that in a second. All right. So start off sort of the same format as I do with the main vocal waves tune. Make sure we're in the right key. B minor. EQ, a little bit different EQ.
Listen to the music.
So
Listen to the music.
here's before.
Listen to the music.
Hear all that rumble? All right. So it's just 1, 3, and 4.
Listen to the music.
Turn the rumble. Turn it on.
Listen to the music.
Okay, so you hear, in this particular example, you hear what that high-pass filter does. Just cut out all that low end that you don't want.
Listen to the music.
And turn back on.
Listen to the music.
And just cut out some mud.
Do it. Listen to the music.
Get rid of my S's.
Listen to the music.
FET for sitting on top.
Listen to the music.
And I'm really clamping down, so this is just to flatten this monster out. I'm not being gentle with this particular piece, and it's only done twice in the song. All right, again with the vocal rider.
Listen to the music.
And then a little bit of saturation.
Listen to the music.
So this starts to just warm it up and distort it a little bit, and this is where the effects really start coming in. And then on this waves harmony, I do not even remember if it was a preset or not, but set the key. I did a little medium spread chord. Oh, there you go. Right there. And let it do its thing.
Listen to the music.
There you go. Add some reverb.
Listen to the music.
That's all that's going on there. So in the song, it sounds like this.
Listen to the music. Do it, let me do it.
That's just a little in the background. All right. On to the gang vocals. So you see here, Actually, one trick with gang vocals. Let's see if I have playlists in here. All right, there they are. And I'm going to bring them up to the main vocal. You will see, top, here's the main vocal. Leave that untouched, you're not messing around with that. How I sang it is how I sang it. Now you have this gang vocal, you see how it's cut up? See how the original was? I'll actually just go 2, 3. There. If you zoom in, you see that timing, A, yeah, it's just off. So if I listen,
She ain't so reggae.
they're behind each other. You don't want that. So what you do, get rid of that, is you work on your timing. Bring them both up. There. On both of them. So first thing you do is make sure that these vocals line up with the main vocal a little better, and also that they line up with each other. And with gang vocals, bring them back down. All right. And with gang vocals, that they just sound in time with your main vocal.
She ain't so reggae.
So easy enough. You've got a lot more free room, or you've got a lot more free reign with background verse vocals than main vocals, because if you have a little weird cut or crossfade in there, if they're not sitting on top of the mix, or they're not sitting out in a way that they're noticeable, then no one's going to notice that you did an interesting crossfade, or a syllable is sort of cut short to fade into another consonant a little better.
She ain't so reggae.
So you can't hear it. Sounds great. All right, what we did here, super simple.
She ain't so reggae.
I just did the Softube American Class A. We'll show you what that's like turned off.
She ain't so reggae.
So sonically, it sounds better. We retract this in the main room. It doesn't sound as sort of, best word I have for it is conical. Sound bounced around in that isolation room. It took me not long at that studio to realize, unless I needed the isolation, I'd track vocals in the main room. Just sound better. You got walls are much, much farther away from your mics, more natural sounding. Anyway, so all we did here is a little EQ, a little compression, the high and low pass filter. So here is just with the high and low pass on there.
She ain't so reggae.
Lo-fi it up a little bit, and then turn on EQ. Got rid of the mids a little bit. Did a boost on the low.
She ain't so reggae.
And then add some compression and some drive.
She ain't so reggae.
Added some drive already. That was with the first one. Anyway, that's all there is to that. Added some.
She ain't so reggae.
Add some reverb.
She ain't so reggae.
And that is all there is to that. Hope you learned something, and hope that helps.